Hey, what's up, everybody? Championship Leadership Podcast here, and I'm excited. We got Bob Cefail with us, the founder of American Stories TV, which I just had the pleasure of being a part of, a revolutionary new show called Surviving Man, and that's actually coming out as we record this. Tomorrow is a big world premiere for Surviving Man, and then the after show included in that Surviving Man, the aftermath. So, how you doing?
Doing great, man. You are one tough Mo. I'm telling you, man. I tell you about honestly, Randy Couture and Don were like totally impressed at how freaking tough you were.
Oh, well, thank you.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you'd share with your listeners. I mean, you had one serious injury.
Yeah.
You were flying down the that about to get your gun, start shooting. You're just flying down, and we just saw it on film yesterday. I
Oh,
saw
really?
it. Dang, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I hadn't talked about it too much, but I didn't. But yes, yeah, that was it was disappointing. I know, because right before that we did another. I don't know what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not.
Oh, you can talk. That's fine.
Yeah, we did another evolution where we had to like sprint down like 200 meters, grab those tires, and haul ass back. Right. So I just did that, and then we went into that one where you had to sprint to the like 50 yards, grab the gun, shoot 5 times, and you had to sprint again another maybe 25. And as I sprinted the second time, I think I just like tired it out, and kind of it was prone to pop, and it did pop on me, the calf.
It did.
And that was day 2. So I was like, we still have 4 days to go. I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, you did it, man. So
Yeah.
You listeners out there who listen to Big Nate, man, this guy's a beast.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having you here, and I know, like, of course, we got the premiere going, and this isn't the only show you have, and you got all kinds of stuff going. So appreciate you taking time. Real quick, before we get into too much more, championship leadership is the name of the podcast. So I like to ask everybody that comes on. So what does championship leadership mean to you? I'm excited to hear your answer to this one.
Never give up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
you just, if you just know it. You just, whatever goal you set, you just don't give up, because you know something, you'll achieve it if you never give up.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. And, today, the short attention spans, like everything that's kind of right at the fingertips, click a button, we get Amazon's delivering us stuff. Social media, we make a post and we get likes and comments and feedback right away. Like news is coming at us like real time. People want stuff now, and they're not as willing to stick it out, like you said, right?
100%. And what's funny, Nate, is that there are so many people turtling up because of COVID, and the opportunities for people to get ahead of everybody, get ahead of the competition. It's like it's there. I mean,
Yeah.
I know things are getting back, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of openings right now for people to really accelerate and win big.
Yeah, especially if they're like you said, they're willing to just not give up and keep moving forward.
Yep.
Those are the ones that are going to come out on top for sure. What's up?
By the way, once again, I'm not trying to laud you, but you didn't give up. You just didn't give up.
Yeah.
There's no dog in you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you. It means a lot, because sometimes I felt like I was just like this, kind of like one of those old dogs that like has the limp, and some people just want to put down. but hopefully it didn't look that way.
Well, you made some real I mean, Allie and Liberty and Dr. Jen couldn't stop talking about you when we were going out to that undisclosed location.
Yeah.
For Aftermath. You were like one of their favorite cast members.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that is cool to hear. Well, let's talk a little bit more. Like, tell the listeners that aren't familiar with you, maybe a little backstory on American Stories and Surviving Man, and how this has all came about, and a little bit of the path and the journey you've been on to get where we are today.
Absolutely. It's kind of an interesting, it goes back to how Don met us. I have another company, that's involved with celebrity endorsement. We work with a lot of celebrities in the sports, music, TV, and film space. 7 years ago, Don heard about us, and he reached out. And I was in the military in the nuclear submarine force, so we used to tote around those SEALs,
Yeah.
in their little missions. I was in a fast attack boat. So, and in fact, when we were in, I was stationed in Pearl Harbor, and the SEAL team crew was like at the end of the pier.
Yeah.
That's where those tough guys were.
Yeah.
We were parked just, maybe 300 feet from their little place. So anyway, he contacted us, and we started doing a lot of projects together. And I knew about the SEAL selection process, which was really tough.
Yeah.
And I said, Don, wouldn't it be cool if you could take folks from any type of background and put them into that process? And he said, absolutely. I do it all the time. I said, well, let's put this together. And my wife, who is she's like a genius in multiple fields. She's like the branding person of all time. I say, name the title. And she goes, Surviving Man.
I love it.
So that actually was the start of it. And that was
perfect name. Perfect.
Yeah. Isn't it perfect? And that was about 4 years ago. And it just, the cosmic tumblers all fell into place. In large part, if I be a little long-winded here.
Yeah.
But, we have a big opportunity right now because, traditional Hollywood is like literally committing self-suicide. I mean, they're like, I'm telling you, I know, because I work with celebrities.
Yeah.
And the opportunity now for a new type of entertainment company that actually speaks to everybody and not just, one group or another group. Not a better time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What, Don Man, I had the opportunity to meet him, and a year and a half ago, he came on the podcast, and that's how I found out about the show. But, and he's been a very influential person for me in my life too, obviously, and then before the show. But, who are some of the influential people in your life that have impacted you along this journey that we call life? And what are some of those characteristics that really stand out from those people?
Well, my dad is a pretty interesting cat. He was one of the top guys in the NSA.
Oh, wow.
He earned the top awards there. And I would say that was back in the time when the NSA actually kind of focused on cracking codes and, focusing externally. But I mentioned him because he was a very brave guy. In the 60s, the late 60s, he was into civil rights. He would take me to marches, civil rights marches, with Jesse Jackson. And he's a very interesting cat because his integrity was, rock solid. And, it's like, okay, if you don't like me in civil rights marches, well, the door's that way.
Yeah.
So valuable. And interesting story. One of the cast members of Surviving Man, I'm not getting too specific, but she knew of him.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
And she said, she looked up some information, and she said, man, this guy was like Superman.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
As an example.
That's
so that's somebody. And
cool.
So my point being is he had amazing integrity.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's awesome. Yeah.
I think I got the challenge coin right here. Yeah. I think this is it. Let me see. I think it's one of these. I think I got the challenge coin I was given. Oh, I don't know. It's not here. Dang it. Anyway, I got a challenge coin for that person.
Okay.
Really
Oh, that is cool. That's really cool. What's I think championship leadership. I think of incredible they have incredible vision. You know, I know you're a football guy. I'm a football guy. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban are two the best of the best in the world, competing against the best in the world. And year after year, they continue to show up. And a big part of that is they're able to see things. They have this vision that others aren't, and they have the courage to take action and create an incredible impact. So I see you as having that incredible vision, what you're doing and what you're creating. So what, maybe give us a clear picture of what that vision is for you and why you created American Stories and why you created the show like Surviving Man.
I'll do that, but I want to add one other football coach to your menu there.
Please.
Probably I believe the most underrated coach in the NFL history is Joe Gibbs. Here's a guy who took Redskins to 4 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks under extreme conditions. And I'll just tell you a little story about him real quick before I answer your question.
Please.
So in 1987, that was the strike year.
Yep.
And Joe Gibbs, this is his integrity. Once again, integrity. Mm-hmm. He told his players, because people may not know this, but 3 of the games were played by scab players. You know, the NFL players struck. So they had 3 games where they had with replacement players, they called them. And Joe told his veterans, listen, I don't want any of you crossing the line. None. We need to think of the future. And not one Redskin crossed the line. They won all 3 games. And when they played the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night, the Cowboys had 19 players who had crossed the line. I mean, from the running back, I mean, they're top players.
Yeah.
And once again, it came down to integrity. So Joe Gibbs, put that in your little nomination.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, absolutely. Yeah. No, I love Gibbs. Yeah.
And he was a man of faith, big time, by the way.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of it comes right back again to never quitting, because I actually started the process of developing this company, American Stories, in 1985. Literally, I was with a company, and we sent out survey groups, and what we found when we did all that surveying, I mean, a lot of people, is we found that people in 1985, just like now, they just want good old-fashioned movies about people overcoming obstacles. I mean, boom, and and so we did all that survey work, and I was able, with that survey work, to detect which films that were in production were going to be the top earners. Mm-hmm. And I was right on the mark. I picked this film, that film, this film. And actually, Hollywood Reporter did a piece on me on this process that I developed of surveying. We're using that right now with American Stories. If you go to American Stories and you go up top, you make the story, you can actually be part of the survey process that helps us decide on movies. So at the base of American Stories is this one core mission. We want to inspire people to achieve their dreams. Yeah. That's it. And if you look at the best movies, the best shows, at the underlying, the ones that do the best are the most profitable, if we want to get into the the consumer end. It's the ones that really inspire people. I mean, let's go from It's a Wonderful Life to Field of Dreams. Mm-hmm. American Idol has inspired countless people in the entertainment singing space. It really has. Shark Tank's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you take a look at what our programming is about, A, it's going to appeal to everybody. B, it's going to inspire people to overcome obstacles and learn things to do so. Like your podcast, you're teaching constantly and you're inspiring constantly. And that's what it takes to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That's awesome. And can't wait to see it. This is just beginning, right? So.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got mean, the first of 10 episodes start tomorrow night. By the way, right after Surviving Man is Surviving Man Aftermath. What did you think of that show?
I thought it was awesome. Yeah, I love it. It's so cool that you did that. Yeah.
And some of the challenges in that, wait till you see them.
Yeah.
So we do have that, and we have, in the sports world, we have 5 different shows in production, from country ball. Talk about an inspiration, man.
That one looks amazing. Yeah, country ball.
I got to tell you, folks, if you're and this school is kind of referred to by the top college coaches in America as the Field of Dreams, and I'll tell you why. This coach, who's like 29,
he's young. Yeah,
young. He was, by the way, he was coaching semi-pro football at 14 years old.
Oh, really?
14.
Oh, wow.
So, so this little school is less than 300 students, K through 12. The high school has maybe 85. Of the 85 students, 40 of them are world-class football players who come from all over the world. It's just the most amazing thing. So you got the little school. This team this year very well could be in the top 50 high school football teams in America.
Yeah.
And they average 250 offers a year, with well over 200 college coaches coming to the school. And I'll tell you, want to hear a little backstory? Ready for this?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of rite of passage. If a new coach comes to the school, nobody tells them what they're going to experience. So they typically, the new coach who's never been there comes to the parking lot, looks, and he thinks he's he'll start dialing Jesse's number. Jesse Chichar is the coach, by the way, of country ball. And he calls and Jesse will pick up the phone, and the coach will go, "Hey, listen, my GPS is not working. I'm sitting in a daycare center." And Jesse goes, "No, that's us." Anyway, so that show, Country Ball, we're produced, and Sports Illustrated is working with us on that, as well as Friday Night Football, cool. Rise to the Top, which basically follows some of the top players in America. We have this week in high school football. We have 5 different projects all pointed at high school football.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. What's the name of that school?
It's Clearwater Academy.
Okay, Clearwater Academy.
Clearwater Academy Knights.
Very cool.
It's the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is what's happened at that school, has never happened in sports before, and will never happen again.
Yeah. Period. That's special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears here just a little bit. I like to ask this question. We all have these like critical moments, right? Or these turning points in our life, and kind of that fork in the road. And so I love to hear, because I think a lot of people are in those moments right now, especially with the last year and a half we've had. It's it's been difficult for many. So what's a moment where you're kind of in that moment trying to decide which way to go? And obviously you made the decision that you did, which has you where you are today, but had you made a different decision, could be in a very different place than you are right now. Is there a moment that comes to mind for you could share?
Well, let's do it specific to American Stories, because it was in late November, and that's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2020. And I was talking with the owner of Big Daddy, the founder, and we were looking at, funding Just Surviving Man and bringing in some sponsors. And I made the decision at that point, well, screw it. Why, I've helped many companies get funded through crowdfunding. And I said, shit, let's just do it on our own. And it's interesting because that seems kind of like, but what was really happening was underneath, I was going, screw it. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Not do this and kind of bank shot over to what I want to do. Like, it was like, I decided no delays. No, I have to do this to do this. I just said, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people kind of, they could actually do exactly what they want. They just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of people will put, like, you know, they'll put steps, actually extraneous steps that they don't really have to do. They're like, well, I got to do this to this to this to this, then to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, every time you add a via or an extra step to anything, you literally push the end goal farther and farther away. The more vias will ultimately end up stopping you.
Yeah.
So just get, if you're listening to this now and you're thinking, damn, well, yeah, I've been, so just, here's my advice. Just do it.
Yeah. 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 So I mean, essentially that was 100% betting on yourself in that moment versus.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. That's 100%.
Yeah. What was some, what's it like? Because for you, I can only imagine, I mean, so at the show, I think we were there 6 full days filming and creating this thing. And I know they were long days for us. I know they were way longer days for you guys behind the scenes, for you and Don and everybody else that was orchestrating this. But I also have to imagine that it was incredibly rewarding and an incredible, amazing experience to do that as well. So what are some of the thoughts as you go through that week and you get out of it, and like some of the, maybe even some of the lessons that you took from that and from your side of the camera or from your side of the show?
Sure. I'll give you a couple interesting anecdotes. We had finished shooting. It was the night we finished, and we were having a little wrap party at our director's Airbnb, and it was in the middle of damn nowhere. And Don was there, and his sidekick Chris was there, and Ed was there, and some of the crew, and it was really interesting to watch Don's reaction, and for that matter, Chris and some of the other folks, when the director, Stephen Eckleberry, put some of the dailies of the show on this huge screen. And Don was transfixed.
Yeah.
And one of the shots was a drone shot. And he went, that looks exactly like Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
It was during the mission sequence. And I won't go farther.
Yeah.
But he was like, wow.
Yeah.
So when you see that guy who's been like everywhere,
right.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Say, and you know, I've known Don a long time, but he was stunned. He was like, God.
Yeah. That's right.
That, I mean, and he was, I'll tell you one other thing. There's another instance that was really interesting because I got to learn how Don operates. So let's put it, I think, you know, there was a key moment in the show. I won't say which episode, which day, but there was a key moment when there was a startling transformation of almost everybody who's involved. I mean, where all of a sudden it became a team.
Yeah, right.
And it's very apparent when you actually watch this thing. So that's two pieces. And Don, that's what he does. He takes individuals from disparate backgrounds and he molds them into a team, and he does it in a very unusual way.
Yeah. He's great. And I think we should talk real quick. Like we had Randy Couture, which I was like, what the heck's going on here? That was amazing. Number one, Randy, just like everybody else that was involved, just an incredible man. And just like knowing nothing about him, just very down to earth, very humble, very just like was with us right in the mix the whole time, and just super approachable. And just like, I can't say enough great things about him. Again, just like everybody else that was there as well. So what was that like getting him to be a part of the show?
Well, you know, he's we call him the teacher, because if you watch him, I mean, the guy is, I mean, literally when our cameras were on him, it's just, you learn every single time the guy said anything,
Yeah.
Particularly in one of the scenes involving, I don't think this is given up too much, involving the land navigation evolution.
Okay.
Which was a pivotal point in this whole show.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget him and Don were just sitting there. I was standing next to him. And they saw two people go off in a direction. And just instantly, Randy said, well, they're screwed.
Yeah.
And sure enough, those two people are screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting how we, I'll give you one of the interesting aspects of this. We wanted to make sure we had enough of every type of possible person in the show. And I actually reached out to Randy Couture's gym because I knew it was in Vegas. And I was hoping they were going to have some MMA fighters there, some women.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out and his somehow out of the blue, that little reach out to the gym went to Randy's son, to the guy heading up his whole foundation. I think they went to our website, my celebrity endorsement website, and I've got George St. Pierre there, GSP.
Okay.
And I think they said, oh, these guys are legit.
Yeah.
And so, and they saw the intro, which is really good.
It's
you
great.
Watch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And out, instead of them reaching to me and saying, hey, yeah, we got a couple girls who would love it, they said, hey, we want to talk about a bigger relationship.
Yeah.
And literally at that time, I was reaching out to some other folks to be the co-host.
Okay.
And when they reached back to me and I talked to his president of his foundation, I said, oh, how do you think Randy would like to be a co-host? And he said, I think he would. And I said, and I stopped everything.
Yeah.
That's my man.
Yeah.
And that's funny. That's how it is in the celebrity endorsement world.
Yeah.
You just never know,
Never know.
Who is going to come up and crop up. But I will tell you this, I couldn't have gotten a better co-host.
I was just going to say the same thing. I was just going to say, I don't think you could have found a better fit.
Nope.
Perfect. Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Well, let's, I want to respect your time here. One last question. If there are one or two things you could give to the listeners that would help them move their life forward today, if they took action today, what would that be?
Take action.
Take action.
Actually take action. Just start.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will overthink it and overplan it. And, you got to do this before this, or just do it.
Yeah.
Listen, just start.
Yep.
And be observant and adjust. Yeah. And you'll get there.
Yeah.
But don't wait another instant. As soon as this podcast ends, start.
Yep. Yeah. There is, you figured it all out along the way, right? You don't have to have it all figured out to start. So
I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Well, what's a few ways that everybody can tune into the show and follow everything that you're about and American Stories is about?
Yeah, sure. Go to americanstories.tv. And there you're right on the major channel. From there you can watch right there the shows. It can send you off to Google Play Store or Apple Play Store to get an app to watch it. You can go from there to Roku or anywhere else. So American Stories, plural.tv. That's where you go.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, I appreciate you coming on today, and I'm excited to see the show as it premieres here tomorrow. So thank you so much for taking time, Bob.
100%. Thank you, Coach.